take great pleasure in inviting you all into the webinar. This is just going to be a casual discussion around how to leverage analytics to derive business outcomes. This is Srividya here on behalf of Atna Technologies. I lead analytics and automation division. Just a small brief introduction before we go into uh, the topic of the day. So Acta has been in the business of implementing enterprise solutions for the last 16 plus years, and we are spread over multiple countries in different geographies from North America to MENA to Australia to Sri Lanka. And we have about 250 plus customers, and we implement ERPs in the Microsoft suite, that is Dynamics 365, NAV, Business Central, as well as FNO and different point solutions and mobility solutions. In fact, we have a product for invoicing, uh, complying with the latest government regulations for the GST. And we also have multiple mobility solutions based upon Android as well as iOS. Uh, we are primarily present in the discrete and process manufacturing areas, and we do have verticals in textiles, dairy, as well as service industries. In addition to ERP, last few years, along with Microsoft, we have also branched ourselves in the latest technologies of Power Platform, which includes Power Apps, RPA, that is robotic process automation, as well as analytics. So in analytics, our primary focus is using MSBI. We build data warehouses with the backend as different ERPs like SAP and different CRMs, as well as our own Microsoft suite of products. And RPA, we deal with actually MS Automate, that's a Power Automate. In addition to that, we also have implemented solutions around UiPath as well as Automation Anywhere. And some of the methodologies that we use are best in class in the Industry 4.0, uh, EPICS as well as DDMRP. So, in specific to analytics, the data, we've built data warehouses with SSIS, Pentaho. Those are the ETL tools that we have. In addition to that, we do have expertise in when you have large data to analyze. We could also take it. We could also analyze it using the Azure data warehouse framework, like data warehouse and data lakes as well. We are also a Microsoft Cloud certified partner, gold certified partner. So we help companies shift to cloud, shift your applications to cloud, shift your infrastructure to cloud. So you could contact us, our sales team, as well as any of us for any of your needs with respect to that. So coming to Power BI, this is for you if you would like to know about a powerful reporting platform. Also, in case you're struggling with, let's say, multiple systems, because as the companies grow, they bring in various systems to store their data and also to perform their business. So let's say you have multiple systems and you would like to have one report which combines insights from various systems, then probably we are going to discuss some use cases around that today. Now, coming to Power BI, where do we stand? If you look at it, there are multiple products in the market, right from Cognos to Tableau to ClickView, while all of them are equally comparable, but they're all for different segmentation of customers. But we've seen that in the last few years, probably last 5, 6 years, Microsoft Power BI has really gained strength and momentum in terms of its features, in terms of the capabilities, and also you can see that it's in the leadership position in the leaders quadrant as per Gartner Magic Quadrant. So what are we going to cover today? We're just going to cover the capabilities of Power BI as an enterprise BI tool, and also we will discuss 2 case studies and followed up by a demo and a question and answer session. So as I was telling you, Power BI is a tool for you. Let's say even if you're a very small company having just data, you're basically capturing all your data in Excel and you would like to analyze, you could use Power BI. Or if you're a mid-sized organization where you're 100 plus and you have an ERP system and a CRM system and you would like to combine the data and then analyze them in Power BI, there is a version of Power BI which you could use. Or let us say you're a 500 plus organization or a 1000 plus organization and have multiple systems, you have multiple ERPs present in and your operations are present in multiple geographies, and each of the geographies are using different ERPs for various reasons, and you have multiple systems and you would like to combine the data, and that in that case also there is a version of Power BI which is capable of doing that. So you could see that in one screen, actually, I've tried to capture the capabilities of Power BI for various spectrum of companies and various spectrum of usage. So there is a Power BI desktop which is available, which could be used by individual developer for his own analysis, for personal analysis, and also the moment you wanted to share it with everybody else, there is a Power BI service available, wherein if you're a 0 to 500 users, you could go for a Power BI Pro or you could go for Premium. And there are some companies which don't want to take their data to the cloud, in which case there is a on-premise reporting server available with Power BI. Otherwise, there is also an option of cloud. While most of the companies prefer cloud variant, in which case you can connect to your data that is present on-premise through an on-premise gateway. So while this clearly gives a snapshot of the landscape which is covered by Power BI. So I'm going to take you through a case study. So this is a case study which was done where we are going to consider what did Bayer do to improve their operations. So basically, Bayer had what is called as a Data One, which was a data warehousing platform, which was a in-house built data warehousing platform, and they had close to about 200 disparate data sources from where they wanted to combine data. And as you know, Bayer is a life sciences company which has got lots of divisions under them, and they are only growing. They are just acquiring companies and growing. In which case, the leadership team, the CFO at the topmost level, would like to have a consolidated view of financials across the various different companies that they have acquired and also which are in operation. So what they did is during this COVID-19 period, they created they created an app called a CFO app, and this is purely done by the citizen developers who are financially very capable, and also who has a very good understanding of the business. So they have created a CFO app using Power BI, while the data warehouse was created by the IT team. So this was Power BI was chosen as a tool. So the whole thing started during COVID-19, and Power BI was chosen as a tool, and they created a first CFO dashboard, and then slowly they are integrating all of their systems into this dashboard so that there is one view that is available for the CFO whenever he logs in. So if you look at this is what they have actually done. They have SAP, they have SQL, and they have Anaplan. And so from this, roughly about 50 data sources are imported. And also the way they did is they created these data flows, and then these data flows are used by different kinds of reporting. But as you all know, you could have a operational reporting, which is reporting on a daily basis. But whereas for your prediction and for your analytics, you could have analytical reporting. So they created data flows, and these data flows were used by uh, the citizen developers within the organization to create the CFO app that is represented here. So the CFO dashboard not only presented the view of the financials, it also had event briefing in terms of what are all the important events that are happening around in the company, and also statistical reporting was also done. So roughly they kind of migrated about 50 data sources in this operation, and they had a similar view like this where at the topmost level they had captured sales and EBITDA. So on a daily level, the CFO gets to look at this, and then he also analyzes the cash flow and also the liquidity part and also the revenue and the spend part. And this is the first dashboard that comes up. At any point of time, he can drill down into each one of these to look at the breakup of it that constitutes this. And also you could see that a lot of visual feedback has been built into this in terms of what is going well and what is not going well. And also you could see the values captured in different colors giving different meaning to it. So this is just a sample of how Bayer went about creating their reports. So while I'm not going too much into what Bayer has done, they're all available in the Microsoft site. If somebody is interested, we can actually send the link to you later on. The point to take home over here is, while the IT department can actually create the data flows, they can create the data warehouses and make the model available. If there are citizen developers available across the organization, they could very well create this visualization. And also for finance, today's focus is on finance, and for a finance person, Excel is at the heart of a finance person. And similarly, Power BI gels very well with Excel because both the tools are coming from Microsoft. So anything that's possible in Excel is also possible in Power BI, and more is possible in Power BI. Also, the language or the engine that's used in Excel and Power BI, the base engine are same. So anybody who's very familiar with the, the formulas in Excel, the way the Excel is done, they will find it so much more easier to migrate to Power BI and get on with the Power BI and build reports and calculations over there, because the base engine is same. And Microsoft's one of the Microsoft's policies also, it is possible to take data from Excel and move it into Power BI. And similarly, once the model is built into Power BI, there are die hard fans of Excel who do not want to leave Excel, right? So actually the IT department can create a model in Power BI, and the model can be published, and with a Power BI license, to a large extent, that model can be reused in Excel as well, right? So there's so much of interchangeability that happens between Excel and Power BI, which is a very, very good news for the financial organization. So let's look at what happens in the day in the life of a CEO. So CFO is of a CFO. CFO is basically responsible for tracking every financial activity in the organization. So while there are a lot of things that a CFO does, the most important thing that a CFO does is he enables that there's a sufficient cash flow to run the company, whether it is a manufacturing sector or whether it's a service sector or any sector. The primary function is to ensure that the cash flows are maintained, and also whether the working capital sufficiency is there or not. And and also the most important thing is the collections and the accounts receivable that had the through which money comes into the company. So that's also tracked on a daily basis. So the moment the CFO comes into the organization in the morning, he would like to look at the health of all of this. And probably at a periodical level, he would also like to see what's the actual sales revenue that we have achieved, and how are we doing with respect to what was budgeted probably a year ago. For example, company could have budgets at the level of a period as well as a product line, and we would like to compare at that level. And also most important is the profit and loss, that is what's my revenue, what's my expense, and what's the profitability. So I would like to have, as a CFO, I would like to have a visibility into all of this on an ongoing basis. Probably some of us would like to look at it daily, some of us would like to look at it weekly. Now, what happens in an organization when an organization is a medium-sized organization, and when they have multiple systems, they could have one system for certain set of operations, one ERP for certain set of operations, and they could have another legacy system running. Now, the executive to the CFO, the first thing in the morning, has to pull out all the reports from all the systems and take it to a system, take all of them to Excel, and then combine all of them, correlate all of them, and then produce one view where the leadership team can look at how the business is performing and what are the business insights that are coming out. Now, in this process, which means that there is always a sizable delay from the time the data is generated in the systems to the time the data is made available to the leadership team to look at. A delay in time leads to delay in visibility, leading to delay in business decisions. So what is it that we can do to solve this problem? And also often the most important, whenever we walk into any company and talk to the people, the most important problem that people say is, we have our budgets and targets in Excel. right? Our actual sales budgets is in Excel. Probably our hierarchies are in Excel. Targets are in Excel, but our collections, sales are in an ERP. Now, if I want to compare them, one is an ERP, I need to have a way of combining them and look at it in a central place. Now, how do we achieve this? Many times what happens is when there are multiple divisions, for us to produce that one report of budget versus actual for that period, it takes about 10 to 15 days. So which actually means that for the leadership team to look at it, it takes probably, they get to see it around 20th, which they're supposed to, if the data is available in the system on first, but then the correlation happens, and then it takes a delay of about 15 to 20 days. So, and also the moment you take your data out on Excel, the corporate governance around the data is gone, because now it's an Excel. It is possible to be, there's no security to it because it could now be sent in a mail. There's no special permission required to access them. So, and also the moment you take the data out into Excel, the single source of truth is gone, because when it is in an ERP, now what happens is there is a protection. It's not possible to modify the data unless you are, someone is an IT team. Whereas when you take the data out into Excel, even for the best of the reasons, there is a possibility that the data can be changed because you want to accommodate something, some collection that has come in, but it got entered into the system, right? So what you're going to see in the system, what you're going to see in the Excel sheet is going to vary. Now there is going to be a mismatch. Now, how do we solve all this problem? So the way to solve all of this problem is, so this was a particular situation we tackled, and the way we did is we basically built a data warehouse, centralized data warehouse. And this in this particular situation, this was based on SQL Server, and we took the data from ERP, we took the data from CRM, and we also took the data from Excel sheets for the budgets, Excel and for the targets, and also for the cash flow. And many times cash flow is not available in the ERP. So whatever they needed, we took the data from all of this, and then it was all correlated and then entered into, taken into the system through a process called ETL. That's an extract, transform, load process. In this particular case, we used SSIS to do that. And then we built the data warehouse, and the visualization was done in Power BI. Now, and the moment we have visualized this in Power BI, basically this leads to KPIs. Then we could have matrices, we could have insights, we could have, so from the same set of data, we could have operational metrics, we could also have analytical metrics, and we could have leadership level metrics, and all the way up to building the business scorecards. So what did we achieve by doing this? What did we achieve by doing this? We basically we removed the manual intervention over here, and the human errors were eliminated. And at all points of time, the data from ERP, CRM, and Excel were correlated. So nobody needed to do a manual correlation. It's a one-time correlation that was done, and this was what was achieved. So this is some of the, this is actually a snapshot of a dashboard. All the figures are not, figures are all, changed. So this is a sheet where we tracked revenue, expenses, EBITDA, as well as depreciation, and all the various financial metrics. And we could do analysis over financial year as well as over the calendar year, because many times what we see is there is a need to have a separate calendar year analysis and a separate financial year analysis, because sometimes when you're operating in India, our financial year is from April to next March, whereas our principals could be in other countries where the years for which the budget is set is from January to December. So we need to support both the kinds of analysis. So that was possible. And also you could see that there is a smart narrative over here, which kind of looks at all the data that is available here and produces a narrative, which means we don't need to look at it and infer. So when we log into the system, then the inference automatically happens. And this is another dashboard that we created where the budget was from the Excel sheet and the actuals were from the ERP. In which case this ERP was a very simple ERP, not a enterprise level ERP. This was a legacy system, and again we gave the options of visualizing it in millions or in millions or otherwise. And you can see that the entire the P&L items are all available here. And so this actually looks at actual versus budget versus variance and the percentage by which we have grown, with some indicators of how we have grown. So you could either look at it, while we have shown you the maximum matrix view, because many times we like to look at it matrix in a matrix format, but you could also look at it. You could also look at it visually. You could also do some predictions around it, because Power BI does support AI and ML, in the sense artificial intelligence and machine language. So this is another place where we kind of did an aging analysis in terms of what is the how the collections are lagging behind. You could see that we have done it per location and also in various different buckets. And you could see that what I've shown over here is a tabular view. You could also look at it in a visual view by the click of a button. So these are some of the things that we've done. And to just this is going to be followed up by a demo by Venkat, where he's going to show you the actual visuals that are being created. So over to you, Venkat.
Hope my screen is visible, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it is visible.
Thank you, Srividya, for the lovely insights. Welcome to Analytics walkthrough on finance. In this walkthrough, we'll cover insights on budget versus actuals, some visuals on P&L comparison, insights on hierarchy, and visuals on overall performance. Let us take a story of a CFO. He's heading different establishments and entities and wants to compare actual revenue versus budgeted revenue in a single page, which will be possible out of this interesting tool. He can toggle between years and compare trends by different entities. Also, he can compare performance of the different entities. When the CFO is more keen on numbers, he can toggle between visual to table matrix and compare P&L and its variance. Apart from this, he can toggle between millions and non-million representation. Also, he can compare year-wise budgeted actual variance out of this matrix table. We'll go through the second model. We will take a story of a finance head. He is in charge for several departments, divisions, subdivisions, project group, and subgroups. He wants to analyze financial position comparison against budgeted versus actual performance to assign new competencies. Imagine how many Excels and systems and data required, but he can view all the details in a single page with the help of this tool. He can analyze company's performance from top to bottom out of the elasticity view, whether profit and loss for department wise, that can be possible out of this tool. Want to track expenses alone? He can easily navigate to expenses table. Analyze revenue trends. He can immediately arrive at data for comparison. Also, some organizations follow budget year as well as calendar year. They need to view data in two perspectives. This can be easily availed out of this analytical tool with the help of financial year and calendar year filters. Being a CEO of an organization, running one group, with multiple entities and different location wants to visualize group performance can choose hierarchy function to reach last level of data through Power BI. You can toggle between visual and matrix view and expand from group level till bottom level and can arrive at decision according to recent trends. We'll toggle from the visual view to matrix view and we can analyze the hierarchy that has been designed. For example, ABC Tech is having totally 5 companies under ABC Tech group. Further, we can drill down and reach the location-wise data. For example, American Design is having 2 locations. Also, further, we can drill down to expenses and view the details of expenses that has been contributed during the particular financial year or a calendar year. Also, they can further drill down and see the expenses contribution as well. That's the power that we can achieve out of the hierarchy model. Next, we'll refer to the fourth model. Being a manufacturing company, whether it's cost of goods sold during a particular year, depreciation out of fixed assets, different taxation schedules, total sales by project and different business line can be easily measured and supervised in a single summary page. Also, we can drag and drop between different dates instead of particular period or month or quarter in Power BI to get the desired results. Now I'm going to drag and drop the filters. We can toggle between different dates and arrive at the results out of it. Quickly, we'll move on to the next interesting visuals. Analyze data according to our own convenience. With the total sales in hand, build a report based on our own preferences with the help of multiple selectors in the analytical tool. Now we've got the total sales amount. With the total sales amount, we can view the brand wise details. Further, we can view the product details. Further, we can view the customer details. So if we are not satisfied with the view, we can realign the data. We can choose from the customer, then we can choose the product. Again, we can choose the brand. This can be from top to bottom or from bottom to top. Interact with BI by typing logical questions to get immediate answers. We are going to ask BI some logical questions. Show me the total sales by customer. Instantly, we have got the details with charts and figures for analysis. That's it for the demo. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank
We'll
you, Venkat. We basically saw one of the component of the Power Platform that we see here, that's a Power BI. While we always talk about analytics, but automation and analytics always go together. So what we have now is we have a Power Platform over here, wherein Power Apps helps us to create an app and Power BI helps us to analyze the data that's collected by the Power Apps. And there is a Power Automate over here, which is the RPA part of it, which helps us to automate all the business processes around it, which moves the data between different systems.